iRacing.
There was a time that only a few road tracks were included in iRacing's base content, so some circuits were visited often. Because of that, this West Virginia track really will feel like the devs took us home to a little country road. It's time to get ready for round 7 of the Skip Barber Race Series, and you'll see it all live here on the Global SimRacing channel. Hi, I'm Joe Peak, and with me in the booth is Craig King. Behind the scenes is our director, Christian Duploy, and he's using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Craig, with so many choices for free content on the sim these days, it's kind of refreshing to come back here.
I feel like I'm almost like back at school. This is the track that most people would have had their first races back in the day on iRacing. So it just feels like this is the perfect combination. Skip Barbers are the old school learner around the old school learning track that is Summit Point.
Indeed, and Summit Point is well known by pretty much all iRacing road racers, but for our viewers that didn't know about this place, let's head to our track guide. Welcome to Summit Point Raceway. Once the stomping grounds of IMSA and Trans Am vehicles thundering through the West Virginia mountains, this circuit is now mainly used for club racing and performance driver training. Situationed a couple hours west of Washington, D.C., there are actually 2 entirely separate circuits that can be tackled here on the iRacing service. The main circuit is just shy of 2 miles in length, including 10 turns, and can be chopped off into the short version, which has 9 turns and only 1.5 miles for a lap. The Jefferson Circuit is its own 1.1 mile piece of pavement with a mere 7 turns and uniquely can be run in reverse. Both tracks are astonishingly narrow and provide quite a technical challenge. On the main course, the most popular place to pass is down into the first corner hairpin. While some drivers may try a brave dive into turn 5, the frighteningly fast-kinked entry makes it prone to things going wrong quickly. Between there and turn 9, it's essentially a single-file affair with nothing but tight and twisty bends snaking their way around. The Jefferson Circuit isn't used as often, and because there are a few straights long enough to get a run on someone, most drivers are forced to wait for a mistake to pounce on. Otherwise, qualifying will be key. Believe it or not, IMSA's GT class raced here in the late 80s, and even Can-Am stopped in back in 86. While it probably sees much more competition here in the virtual world, it's easy to see why plenty of real drivers love to take their vehicles out to try and tackle this historic Appalachian venue. This is definitely going to be one of the more simple layouts that we'll see on these track maps here, Craig.
Yeah, well, last time we came to this track, it was the short layout, so we missed out the iconic loop down to turn 1 and turn 2. To give you an idea, if you took a little bit of line rock with VIR turn 1s, you'd get the idea of what you're having to do with that corner. It's aggressive in, and then you're just going to have to get onto the throttle as much as you can before you go up the hill to the wagon bend at 3. And that's where you get the little bit of chaos down the chute. And that's where we might be seeing some drivers making some aggressive moves. But turn 4, a little bit tight there before you get into the hard braking of 5. And that's where the danger zone will be today. Because if you can't get that move done through the chute, you're going to have to wait because there's no room for the carousel. Can go side by side there, Joe. That's going to be tricky around these cars. They do have the speed. They do have the downforce. You can do it. That's the main majority of this racetrack. That final corner, well, we've had many battles along here on those final corners, and it is one of your only long straights here. But for a track that looks pretty small, those 3 straights will come quickly at you and very long in these Skip Barbers.
Yeah, carry the momentum, I think, is going to be one of those key factors. Drivers will be trying so hard to get on the throttle. And as for the championship, because of the stunning finish that we saw last time out, Xavier Sanchez has moved up into 3rd in the points. Adam Miles, 2 points behind Vlado Tito, with then obviously a bit of a jump back to Xavier, who we just mentioned. Guardia only a point behind him. And then it's a tie between Philip Burke and Miguel Martin, with only another single point back to Steph Herman. So you've got these really tight clumps of groups of drivers, which seems kind of fitting considering the slipstream battles that we saw last time out. But we won't see those sort of slipstream battles nearly to the same effect here today. Before we get to that, why don't we take a look at our race details?
Yep, well, we are here now for round 7 of the season, so we're getting to the business end. 18 laps around what will be about a 80-second lap time for these drivers today, just over that. It is an open setup. Most people use the iRacing baseline or may make some tweaks themselves to just get the car feeling how they want, but as it's a D license, you crash, you do have that spare car, so that will help you and allow you to get back out there racing, and most drivers do use it. It is a standing start, just like the old days. It's an open wheeler, so it is nice to see, and because it's D-licensed, it's a disqualification at 17 incident points. Welcome to the old days. This really does feel, I feel like I'm 30 years old again, Joe.
I'm sad to say that 30 would be young for me once again, but as the drivers get ready to start setting their first timed laps, like you heard Craig mention, they go by quickly here. It is a very short circuit. There's not too many corners, so even in these lower powered cars, they will be blasting around. They could easily run into lap traffic with even only 15 cars taking part in today's race. So we wait patiently as we hop on board last week's winner, Sanchez, coming up over the crest up to Paddock Bend.
Now we get to see what Heike 360 will do as comes around the final corner to his first lap. And look at the runoff you get there. That's really handy to use all that runoff. Last time we were here, it was wet. It was the short layout. A lot of battles at the line due to that final corner. It's a long run down to the start-finish line, and he'll put himself into second. Now, these first lap times are not representable because the tyres need to heat up, and some of these drivers will be heating those tyres up pretty quickly, but a good ballpark there to be around the likes of Hoglar and Guardia just a tenth behind. This is the man that really wants to get back on top there. I don't know if he would regain his 10K iRacing if he was to win today, but you never know. He actually lost iRacing last week, Joe, in 4th place. That's just mind-boggling.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good representation of what it means to not win when you reach those heights. You made a good point about the weather. It's only 71 Fahrenheit on the track surface right now. That is close to as cool as you can get on pavement that has not got any rain on it here in the sim. So there you can see that's going to be about 22 Celsius for the metric folks out there. This is on board with Miles. He's on his first flying lap right now, but Steph Herman, currently our quickest. He just took the pole away.
Yeah, with a good time as well. So I'm not sure if that was his first lap or not. Will be interesting to have a look as Adam's be coming around for it as well. That was his first lap as well. And then Raul Roch's Guardia, that looks like it's his second lap. He's really putting the times in as well. This will be the first time for Adam Miles using all that runoff there to his advantage, powering down in these Skip Barbers to that line. It's going to be a 1:21.081. Not a fast time, but again, he's only just done his first lap. And you see the other drivers, he's a tenth slower than them. He should get that time back in the second lap.
Lato Tito coming across the line as he takes his, oh no, that was his first lap, and he takes the pole away. There you go. So Vlado returns and shows that he is not one to be trifled with.
He's been having some great racing, great fun as well, coming into the booth, telling us that he's really been enjoying the respect that the drivers are giving. Steph Herman was a 1,000th away from Hoglar. Can he make it better? Just clipping a little bit of grass, but shouldn't be an off track there. It was a 29.962 last time by. It's only a 907. That does bump him up to third. Just goes to show how close it is from everybody from Weiss all the way down. And good to see Maximo back again. He had a win. Haven't seen him since the week after that win.
Philip Burke manages to move on to row 2, but we watch Adam Miles on this second lap around. He's all the way down to 7th now. This is a track where you want that track position and starting up front because it is so tough to pass, and it is a very high strength of field here today. So you're going to need a good qualifying. He'll cross the line, and it's a 20.8. That's good enough for third. That's better. But I kind of expected pole out of Adam.
Yeah, but I think Vlado, I would love to know what Vlado's done. And this is his second lap. He doesn't even need to set a lap here. And it's still faster, just barely. But he's put 2 tenths on everybody. Joe, we've watched these cars for so long. That's a shocking gap between pole and P2 in how close the machinery and how close these drivers are for Vlado to be 2/10 faster than everybody.
On a track that is only 1:20 in length, too. Yeah, I'm kind of stunned right now. And Jordy, who has the number 12 on his car out of 15 cars, is already sitting in ninth. So he's already in a very good spot right now. Question is, can he improve on this second lap by? And to tell you how much that those 2/10s count for, even in ninth place, Jordy is half a second off pole right now. So if he improves the tiniest amount, he is going to jump up a ton of positions, but he has slowed and he's not going to improve. Something has gone wrong.
Yeah, something's gone wrong there. I wonder if that's him just having an off track there. Didn't see if there was an off track, but pretty sure. Pretty not sure. Adam Miles is the only driver right now doing laps. That says something right now, that the number one car is getting some more sighting laps out there. He knows this track. He won here last time in the short layout, and he's probably driven this track more times than someone's done a race season on iRacing, and he's getting time out there.
Yeah, well, I think that's why he's got, he's had that 10K I rating. He does not quit. He's going to try and get every last little bit that he can find. Now, I'm kind of curious about your thoughts heading into turn one. Lap one into there often is very treacherous. How would you place your car, Craig? Where would you try to go as they all start to break?
Safe. Because the last 3 races we've seen, there's been something that's happened with someone being aggressive into turn one, and it split the field up instantly. The name of the game today, stay with the field, play it safe into turn one.
All right, well, you heard the man. Let's see if everybody starts to listen or if they do go aggressive. With Vlado Tito starting on the pole, Maximo Weiss will be in second. Adam Miles, good enough for third today. He could try and use that slipstream at the start. Philip Burke starts fourth, as Steph Herman will be fifth. He'll be flanked by Raul Guardia in that third row. You've got Pablo Hoglar starting in seventh. Eighth goes to Jeff Randall, and ninth, Jordi Pujol-Liru, as Xavier Sanchez rounds out your top 10.
Just 5 more to go on the second page. Ricardo Espinella Martinez will be in 11th. Frankie D will take 12th, and Rafael Rogers 13th. Dale Austin, the last man on the field, will be 14th, and Francisco Machini will be your 15th car. Everyone takes a lap.
Glad to see that. This is top split out of 2 competing today. But like I said, that strength of field, nearly 5,000 I rating. That's your average driver out there. So you're going to be up against some stiff competition. I think they are nearly all set up and ready to go. Standing start in this series, but the drivers do have at least a little bit of an effect on that start, just not as much as you would see in some faster cars. It is more about positioning yourself down into turn one. Love Pablo Hoglar. He says in the chat on iRacing, have fun, guys, and let me win. So he's obviously in a bit of a playful mood here today, as I thought we had our last of our drivers, but it looks like Martinez has lost his connection, so he's not going to be able to make it in time, and we'll have to start from pit lane once he does reconnect to the server. That is a real shame for Ricardo, already put on the back foot. He's going to have to hope for some issues for others if he wants a shot at a good result. The lights are now up, however, as we get ready for round 7 to begin, and the green flag is out. They start to accelerate away, and look at that. Immediately, almost the entire field moves to the inside line. So I think Vlado is thinking safe, but everybody else is thinking, I'm going to need the slipstream to try and make a move coming into the first turn. Now they fan back out, and around the outside, Martinez is going to try and pass him. That's Weiss trying to pass him, and he doesn't quite make it.
Doesn't make it, but I wonder if there's going to be a move here into the wagon bend, and Vlado's just going to keep this safe, and that's what he needs to do. And everyone probably listened to me or heard out there because they're playing it safe. Vlado with a little bit of a run up there through the chute, looking like he'll have the outside line when they come to turn 5, and there you go. Now everyone goes in. It's all been really aggressive. It's Jeff Randall trying to go around the outside there of Raul Rogers guarded, but everybody, Joe, and this is good to see, they've kept it clean and they've kept it safe. The whole pack's together right now.
And good news for fans of Martinez. He did get out on track, although he is about 9 seconds behind. That's not impossible to make up. We'll see whether he can catch anybody. Great start by Max, though. Our new leader after the first couple corners hung around the outside through turn 1, made his way to Wagon Bend, and now he is up at the front. Jordy here on board with him. We'll show you how powerful the slipstream is down the only straight really long enough to use it.
Yeah, and these guys have lost some time already. Randall was battling Guardia, and I think that just held everyone up here. So you've got this lead pack all battling together, and I wonder if that was Adam Miles. It would. Vlado Tito get past Weiss as well. When they crossed the start-finish line, though, Weiss was in the lead. And I always like to mention that, Joe, because that gives you an idea of how you're going to have to set up the last corner when it comes to a run here. It is a long run to the start line, but not as long as what we've seen this season with Road America, with VIR. Monza's been the shortest, but the long run since the Parabolica, this is probably the shorter of the straight that they've seen all season.
Look at how much that gravel slowed up Jordy's competitor there. That's Frankie D, who looks like he might lose the position. They are so close down through the chutes, and indeed, Frankie D will hold on to that spot. Now, I was making noises because, yes, Miles took the lead, but he did it going 3 wide. This track is barely wide enough to go 3 wide even with these cars.
Yeah, but I would say that these cars do have that ability to go 3 wide because of how small they are. And this is something I wanted to mention as well. Remember that I said keep it clean and be battling? Because of that battle with Randall and Guardia through the carousel on lap 1, that backpack is now gone. It's a pack of 6. Who's in the lead of that backpack right now as Miles has to just defend? It's Javier Sanchez. And he's been caught unlucky again. And there goes to show why qualifying is so important, because you need to be with these guys, because Weiss is going to take the middle and say thank you very much, and then outbrakes himself, and he's going to have to be careful coming back into line.
Oh, he's going way back. He's not just going to 3rd, 4th, maybe even 5th, but I think that Steph is not got enough speed. No, he does not. So now Tito back up to the front, Miles in 2nd, and Burke sits in 3rd as we check out Raul Guardia, the leader of the 2nd group, as it looks like Sanchez also got shuffled back with the front straight slipstream.
Yeah, just to finish the start-finish line, it's not too bad. But on that run down to the loop, that's a little bit of a problem. And Hoglar been onto the chat once again. He's saying go with lots of O's. So I think I know what he's trying to say. He's trying to tell these guys, come on, we've got to get a move on here, because the last thing we want to do is go fighting again and let the pack back in. You've got 2 big packs right now. And I can say that Martin has actually returned on the lead lap. So he doesn't go a lap down, but he has to work his way back up. But here's Hoglar. He knows behind is the rest of the pack, Joe. So he's just going to have to wait his time. And I wouldn't be surprised if Hoglar doesn't make moves right now. He just wants to make sure that everyone stays together.
I think I'm with you on that one because, yeah, they've really been able to hold tight. All he needs to do is make sure that they don't run away. Philip Burke was your fastest until Machini has reset that. Up at the front, trying to take that 3rd place back. Philip Burke fighting with Maximo. Maximo's on the driver's left, which, as we've seen, could help you into Wagon Bend, but no, he has to get back in line as we continue to ride on board with Pablo. He overtook Steph Herman in all of that action.
Yeah, Pablo, again, been back on the radio saying, or back on the chat saying go once again. I think he's got a key bind. I think he realizes that, yeah, we can do this battling, but do you want to do this battling right now? You know, a lot of that battling was due to the fact that Weiss went a little bit too hot into turn 1, and that just made him, threw him out there, and just kind of like a little bit of super speedway. You don't have that side drafting. But the moment you go side by side, you start to lose the time. So Weiss wanted to get back into the pack as quickly as he could, had to keep the momentum, and he's in 4th. But it could have been into 6th. Like, that could have been the difference there. But yeah, because Bryce Hoglar made a move last time by, and Tito's right on the back of Miles. We know what they've done in the past, Joe. But Vlado and Miles, I think they've got a little bit of respect now.
I've been watching the lap times since then, and Oh, that time it was slightly faster with the front of that group. They weren't quicker than the leaders the previous time through. Vlado Tito still ahead of Miles, but only barely as he tries to go the long way around of the opening hairpin. That is actually tricky to do. But again, if you can hold side by side, he's now got the advantage. Coming up to the off-camber wagon bend. Can Vlado get back in line, or is Burke going to demote him another one? Yes, he just manages to sneak through there.
And I was just going to look at that, actually just held everybody up there, because that pack in the picture-in-picture just gained a couple tenths there due to that, and Javier Sanchez starting to really attack into that and try to just work on his own right now. Here's Jordi Pajeu right in the background as well. He's battling with Frankie D. They're trying to catch up as well, but they won't be able to catch up to the back of these guys. But the times are interesting. This whole pack, this lead pack, anything for a 122 from Hoglar to a 120.4 from Adam Miles as Machini start to go for a very interesting move there. When was the last time you saw a move into turn 9, Joe?
Not often, unless you really want the track position. And remember, Vlado said that that's the way he races. He always wants to be up front. So kind of doesn't surprise me that it's him that did that. Now Miles is going to have to try and do the same move all over again. What he learned from last time, or has Vlado got the measure? No, he's almost fully behind him unless he outbreaks him down into the corner. Does he get chopped across? Yes, Miles moves up into the lead.
Yeah, there was a car's length between them, I want to feel. There's a little bit of wheel banging behind them between Burke and Weiss. Don't think Weiss knew what was going on there. Raul Rush's Gotti has taken a disconnect. Did not see what happened to him there. That's just a straight up hard disconnect there. So something must have happened. Did not catch it. But now you see these guys. And I'm starting to worry about Burke and Hoglar right here. With the front three attacking, it just feels like the rest of this pack is starting to lose out a bit because they're not getting those runs through the corners. They're having to rely on that strength of that slipstream. And if you thought that gap there between the rest of the field was closing, Joe, it's still 2 seconds. And I feel it's going to stay 2 seconds for the rest of the race.
Yeah, Jeff Randall ran a 21.2 last time by, compared to the last one in this group, a 20.9. So about 0.3 seconds slower. They need to be catching that last car in line consistently each and every lap through. We're going to get another number here soon as Miles does not defend the inside. He leaves it open for Vlado. So I think we're going to be seeing another change. Herman, who is at the back of this top train, ran a 120.2. Randall, Sanchez now up the front, a 20.7. So there's another half second gone, as Vlado does not have the job done yet up at the front. Adam Miles will find just enough space. No, he's going to stick his nose in. He'll keep there, and now he finally gives up the ghost and will get in line.
When they cross the start-finish line, let's have a quick look at the replay here quickly. I'll go back to that point very quickly. This is what happened to Guardia. He was battling side by side with the 13 of Machini. I think he just turned in a bit too early there, caught the side, and the moment he went around, I think, yeah, he realized he had damage there. Straight Alt F4, that was gone. As I was saying, when they crossed the line last, Joe, because I like to look at this when it comes to lap-by-lap analysis, Miles was ahead at the start-finish line by 5 thousandths. Not hundreds, thousands. This is something you go watch out for, because the number of times this season Miles has not had a good final corner. Look back at the hog pen at VIR. I feel that it is going to come down, well, we know it's going to come down to that last corner, but with how short this run's going to be compared to everything else, that's going to be crucial to get that last corner right.
Is he going to finish ahead of him this time across the line? Checking to see, and no, he was behind by 5 thousandths of a second as they crossed that time. They're now Noah's Ark down into turn 1. Miles really carries the speed and somehow holds ahead, and I think he's going to keep that top spot, although behind them, look at Maximo and Phillip. That's Max on the inside. Max will retain third while Phillip accepts his 4th place. Wasn't it you that was telling me last week, Craig, that the finish of something like 1 or 2 tenths apart at the line was the biggest gap they had in like 3 races or something?
Yeah. The gap of 0.127, roughly that, off the top of my head, was the biggest gap they've had for a while in the Skip Barbers. And that just goes to show, when you've had these big slipstreaming tracks, how chaotic it's been. And the photos have been going around, Joe, from last week. Everyone's mesmerized at how close that was.
So it sounds like we might have another replay here. This is Dale Austin. I think unforced error on his part as he bounced over the curb. And the good news is he stopped himself before he got to the berm. This track is so old on iRacing, they don't have a wall that you run into. You drop off a cliff. Meanwhile, we're 3 wide once again as Max now moving up to the top spot. Vlado's still got the inside. He's going to fight him for it. Philip Burke, seeing if he can take a position as they're going to make a little bit of contact. They got to avoid going that deep into the corner. You guys still have plenty of laps left to go. You got to keep it clean.
Yeah, Vlado trying to be the last of the late breakers there with Weiss around the outside. Very risky, and kudos to Philip Burke there. He got on the big stumpy pedal right away to just slow that car down, and that could have been big. And the funny thing is, I look at the timing tower, that's not helped the rest of the other pack. These guys haven't concertinaed like I expected them to with that mistake, but there goes the risk with battling side by side. And the track isn't cambered as much as other tracks, but there is elevation changes, so you could risk it going side by side through the loop, but then you've got to get it done. And we've been seeing it already, Joe. Some drivers taking that around the outside of the loop and then getting that run to the wagon bend. Last time by, though, 8,000th, Joe. If it's 8,000th again the other way, I'm gonna buy a lottery ticket.
It'll certainly be fun to watch, because here we go again. Oh, contact between Vlado and Miles. He thought he was clear, and no, he was not. They got to avoid getting damage on the cars, because that'll definitely slow you in a straight line. Philip Burke is going to capitalize on that. He goes around 3 cars at once, but takes the very outside into the corner, and I think he might actually make that one stick. That was a phenomenal move from the number 5.
I just said that you can go around the outside, but that's when you're too wide. 3 wide? How would you even do that? Look at the tires there. Tito's going to go wide because I don't think Miles or Tito, sorry, I apologize. They didn't realize how close it is, and it does feel like that's the second time that's happened with Weiss. Probably not knowing exactly the space you've got with these wheels, just locking, and they're lucky they didn't come together there for a moment. That could have been race ending for either of those drivers.
Certainly getting a little bit chippy out there now, so Max gets shuffled back just because some elbows got into his ribs, and he still runs in 6th. I know you keep pointing it out, and we sound like a broken record. They're still 2 seconds behind in that second group, which I am kind of amazed about, because this is incredibly rough and uncoordinated racing. Their pace just must be, on another planet right now.
I think that is. Look at the iRating is. By the way, this is probably been the first time. Yeah, this is the first time that P2 has actually been ahead at the start-finish line for a while. As Miles did that by 200. Look at this though, 2 by 2 by 2, and they're all just going to try and find a way as Miles slides to Tito, and they both get by. Now it's Tito that's going to try and respond to this behind them. Well, I don't know where you're going to look right now. Bert's got the inside for this in the second pack here, and then behind them Herman's got it. Where is Herman come out of nowhere? He's just jumped up the field and worked his way up. They're still side by side, and they're still side by side. And where do you look right now? Finally, there's a little bit of parity at the front, but behind them, they are still bunched up. And, well, you were talking about that group. I think they may be starting to catch up here, Joe.
Yeah, this will do it. There's no way he can be faster when all 6 cars are next to one another. It's looking more like Talladega and less like Summit Point today. I can't believe we have this style of racing. I know the slipstream is powerful. I didn't think it would be to this degree on that main straight. As Adam Miles leads them around, they're going to be 7 to go at the line. Tito, will he wait? Incredibly, yes, he does. Normally, he tries to pass every corner.
He tries to pass every corner. We talk about that free wide again, Joe. In the last 3 weeks, we've had a free wide going in to Ascari, a free wide going into the Parabolica, a free wide through Canada Corner and Bill Mitchell, and now a free wide around the loop. Oh, that's not enough room there, Philip. It was too tight. It was too tight, and he's still going to break late for this, and he may just bunch everybody up, and he does. And this is going to upset everything, very much change places, because I can't remember the last time Miles was as low as 4th place right now. And yeah, Javier as well. You were talking about that group behind. He's just been on the voice chat. He's not very happy.
Certainly seems like things are getting a little bit crazy out here, not just in this group, but in the other ones that we haven't had the time take a glance at because it's been nonstop action here. Miles continues to try to see if he can stay ahead of Steph Herman, but Herman will rebuff him for the time being. And Hoglar, spare a thought for him. He actually had to get out of the gas, I think, down into turn 1 because he nearly plowed into the gearbox of Adam Miles.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. Look at the laps led here. Burke, Herman, not been there. They've been waiting their time, and now look at them. They're second and third, respectively. Miles leading the most, and, well, if this was old school NASCAR rules, you get a point for each lap you led. Well, you're not doing that today. You're not even getting a point for the fastest lap. Tito's going to be making it 4 laps led right now, and now he's got a different person to battle. Philip Burke. Been a while, but he will lose out again. Herman's going to take that middle as well, and that might be Herman. And now Vlado and Adams got an interesting development on their hands because these two have been battling tooth and nail against one another for the last 3 weeks. Well, 2 guys have just come up and said, no, we want to take this.
Yeah, so Herman now up to the top. And Philip Burke should have the inside coming through Wagon Bend. Tito, though, somehow carries the speed, leaves some room. There's going to be a car in the middle. No, it looks like Adam Miles wisely backed out of that one. And I think after seeing how many times contact has been made for those situations, I don't blame him. He's going to try to pinch down Philip Burke down through turn 5, and it actually worked. I rarely see moves on that side of that corner.
No, and I think what helped as well is he knew Burke was sliding through. I don't think he knew, but Burke was sliding through the corner there, and he had to get out of the throttle. And I think as well, Weiss as well had to get out of the throttle. So had to just make that evasive maneuver just to hold on, and I think it helped him there. And again, we talk about evasive maneuvers, Joe. That gap between Hoglar and the lead of the second pack, which is Sanchez, 1.8 seconds. If they keep doing this, and for a moment I thought the elastic band was going to snap between these drivers, it may happen again. Right in the background, Bert's going to have to try and go around the outside of Miles. Tito's going to take the inside, and look at the late braking from Adam Miles. Right in the background, I think he just gets it from Berg.
Manages to get through, but that was probably, I would say, a more organized entry than we had seen for some time. It was down to 1.4 seconds at one stage. They were catching hand over fist, but I wonder if they got a little too antsy themselves and have given up some of that as we come out of Wagon Wheel down to the chute. And up at the front, Vlado Tito currently leads. Philip Burke actually having to defend because here comes Max down the inside. And Maximo almost has it, but he's going to have to give it up. They come into the carousel portion here, and yeah, you're just going to get kind of eased out to the outside every time there.
Yeah, and these cars are prone to washing out on corners like that, and I think that's a lot what happened there to Burke. Washed out a little bit, so we had to get off the throttle. Otherwise, those guys would have come together, and I don't think that's the last thing they want. They want to keep up with this pack as well, and 3 tenths, got to give them a nice run here if they want to try and battle on as well. Right behind them, I think Weiss had a good run, so he may look for a move here. Vlado goes to the inside, and now that's Herman going to take the middle. Miles is going to take the outside. I feel he's got all the speed, but I usually would doubt someone going around the outside on a situation like this, but, well, we've seen someone already do it today, Joe. I don't think he can do it again. Color me shocked he has.
Wow, that was very little room between Herman and Tito as they turned into the corner. Thought for sure they were going to stay wide and there was going to be contact made. Adam back up to the top spot. Steph Herman under threat from losing it, but he keeps the momentum up. Look at them dicing as they try to carry that momentum. They know it's oh so important to get the passes done, but it's back to single file through the chutes.
Yeah, back to single file. Remember, they don't have brake lights. This is an old school Formula. Well, this is a Formula car. Formula cars don't have brake lights, so gonna have to be an issue. Philip Burke getting into the back of Vlado Tito there. That could have been a little bit nervous, and he had to get a little wobble there. He's lost the momentum, but they're keeping with the pack. That's an important thing, but they're losing the pack now. 7 tenths is the gap between Burke and Tito, and with Tito's aggressive style, and I'm not saying that negative, I'm just saying that with the way he drives, they may start to lose that, but thankfully there's a straight coming up right now. Where do they go? I always say third place in the skippies on a draft track is the best place, but we've seen that for the last 2 laps. I don't know if Vlado's going to do it again, but there's no way we're going to see another around the outside 3 wide of the loop, Joe.
They're trying to work together behind him. Look at that bump drafting between Max and Philip. because they know they had lost quite a bit of ground. It was up to half a second, slides it into the first corner, carrying that extra speed. And still, we fight for the lead. Right now, it is Steph Herman up at the top. I think Vlado Tito should be able to sneak this one away from him. Yep, he is much deeper down into Wagon Bend.
Yeah, in the background as well, Jordi Bahihu's just had a moment. We're going to have a quick look at that on the replays when we get some time, because, of course, I say when we get some time, look at the battles here. And Miles is going to do this again in the outside round 5, and he can't get it this time. He's going to have to defend that position with Philip Burke around here. Oh, a little touch there. Accidental touch, wheel to wheel. And not the best part of the wheel was they almost lost it as well. I know we've got a replay what happened to Jordi Bahiu, Joe, but you can't keep your eyes off this battle.
It has been just non-stop out there. So the 12 car sends it in, and they just, I mean, it's like you said, they interlocked wheels. There's not much they could do after that situation. He'll get back on track, but a ways behind.
Yeah, the key thing is no damage, can see it go. Hopefully look for an opportunity, and penultimate lap now, look for an opportunity. Tito had the lead when they crossed the start-finish line by 800th. Adam's going to try and make this 4 for 4. Again, I can't believe I'm saying this. In the background, Tito's been taken out. The big crash in the background. Tito in the wheeze after a little mistake there from Philip Burke.
Maximo goes with him. That means they're going to lose positions because Sanchez and Randall are able to get by. With that split-up group, they are going to actually act as a bit of a ladder between those behind them to catch up to these 2 cars that were starting to break away. What was 6 has now been cut down to 4 with 2 to go.
And I think there's a black and orange flag for one of the drivers there as well. And it is actually Weiss. Weiss get the black and orange flag. So now this is going to be interesting, because I can't remember the last time Hoglar was in a big-time battle like this for the end. And, well, what a time to find yourself in P3, Joe. They'll be coming back with 1 to go when they come around Paddock Bend at turn 10. I don't know if he's close enough to make moves. He's 3/10. Of course he's close enough to make moves. But now you don't have Vlado Tito in the mix. This is going to be an interesting finish, because the drivers behind, Hoglar, Burke, aggressive in terms of wanting to make the moves. So I wonder if they'll be looking for something right here on the final lap.
Hoglar's been very critical over the text chat of the kind of action that's been happening in front of him. Will he reap the rewards of hanging back as we go 3 wide? No place to go for Philip Burke. There's going to be contact. And in fact, Burke just gets into the side of Hoglar. That was Adam Miles that Hoglar ran into the back of. And Steph Herman is going to somehow pick it up. No, he's not. Adam Miles is not going to be undone by a little bit of a touch as he retakes the lead. Off into the gravel goes Herman, and that allows Hoglar to now try and focus on P1.
Now this is just going to be a quick run down. Just keep it calm. If your Hoglar can do it behind a lot of battling as well. Weiss and Evans and Tito, Sanchez still trying to go. Sanchez side by side with Randall. They're battling as well. The leaders, they're going to leave it all to the final 2 straight there, I feel, Joe. But these guys, they're battling side by side. Sanchez can taste the top 5 right now.
Miles leads, but Hoglar is right behind. Can he time the exit of the final corner, or is he going to go for it? He's going to try and pass before we even get to that final turn. Could see an over-under, could see Philip Burke snatch it from both of them. He's going to have better speed. They all slide off the turn, looking for a 3-wide finish. Philip has no place to go. He has to go all the way to the grass, and who's going to be across the line first? It's Hoglar by 0.5 of a second.
For the rest of the drivers as well, Tito get past Weiss and Sanchez and Machini. That's a very explosive one. Philip Burke finishes off on his roof after that one. I saw some drivers going over the grass. In fact, the gap between Miles and Burke was less than 100th out there in the closest finish out there. That was an insane finish. Joe, when was the last time? I know we said when was the last time. When was the last time we saw someone in the grass for the finish at Summit Point?
Not just one of them, but I went back and looked on my screen. Hoglar was 2 wheels in the grass himself to try and cover off the move from Philip Burke. That is one of the craziest finish I have seen in some time, and I've seen a lot of close ones out there. But Hoglar seems pretty happy because he has taken the win over Adam Miles, with Philip Burke rounding out our podium. Steph Herman, unfortunately, did not have the speed on that last run. He had to settle for 4th. Vlado Tito fought his way back into fifth after he tangled with 2 laps to go. Maximo Weiss was in P6. Then it was Xavier Sanchez finishing 7th today. Unfortunately, a bit of a disappointing follow-up to last week. Franco Machini was P8, Jeff Randall 9th, and Hori Perholriu was in 10th.
I think I might just send iRacing the entire season for highlights this season. Frankie D will be in 11th, and then it'll be Ricardo Estrella Martinez in 12th. But actually, remember, that's not bad after he had to start in the pits there. Rafael Rogers will finish right behind him in 13th. Dale Austin, after that spin, returns into 14th. Raul Roches Guardia, the only retiree today out of the 15 cars. And yeah, what another, I didn't expect it, Joe, another finish like that. Like, how many more times we gonna get this?
I almost kind of want us to add up the total distance between P1 and P2 for the entire season after this season is over, because I'm curious how little time there was come the end of these 12 rounds. Adam Miles is ready to talk to us about this one, and this time at least he wound up on the podium for the finish. Adam, congratulations on a second. Have you ever been beaten by somebody who was halfway off the track before?
I mean, I've done a lot of iRaces, so it's probably happened. I mean, I don't begrudge when you're 100 meters from the finish line, Philip trying it. I don't begrudge Hoglar trying to push him onto the grass either. Sometimes you just got to do what you need to do at the end there. But yeah, just half a wheel in the gravel on the exit of the last corner is what cost me the mile an hour that I needed. I was actually where I wanted to be on the outside there, keeping Hoglar a little tight, but yeah, just we had a little bump, little bit of gravel, just lost a mile an hour or two, but can't be too disappointed with a P2.
Yeah, especially after how all that went. But we noticed that even though we're used to the close racing in these cars, it felt like it was getting a little intense out there. There was quite a bit of contact. What was your opinion about how it started to develop those last 5 or 6 laps?
Yeah, I mean, people start to get elbows out. It happened a little bit earlier in the race than I expected. I think by around lap 12. I think I took a whack coming out of the last corner, which from behind, I need to go back and see who that was, but didn't feel like there was a gap. And then I saw Vlado, I think, got hit by Philip in turn 1. So I think it started early. You're jostling. You don't want to be P4 because I think I said this last week. The front 3 can just form a wall down that main straight, so you're not getting through. So everyone's trying to jostle to at least be top 3. And I was happy being top 3 until lap 17, 18. I knew I could do something from there.
Well, I mean, amazing job sorting out that style of racing. My other question is, did you expect the slipstream to be this powerful here? Because I knew it would allow cars to stay close. I didn't think we would be getting passes quite that easily.
Yeah, I think so. It's quite a fast exit from the final corner, so the skippies are already in well up through 4th gear by then, so they're generating quite a lot of slipstream even by the exit. It might be a different story if it was a slow hairpin and we were pulling through the gears, but yeah, this is one of those tracks where if it was on the season, on the schedule every season, I don't think anyone would be too disappointed. So the skippies have been here a lot, and I'm sure it'll be back again soon.
I enjoy this combo as well. But again, congratulations on a second. Hopefully we'll see you down in Australia.
Unfortunately, you won't. I've got a work trip next week, so I'm going to have to sit that one out, but I'll be back the following week.
Well, at least we'll get him back in a bit of time. That's Adam Miles finishing P2, who was behind our leader. I believe Craig has caught up with Pablo Hoglar.
I've got Pablo Hoglar right here. Pablo, first of all, congratulations. When was the last time you won a race on the grass?
Hi. Oh my God. I mean, I don't know, man. It was incredible. I think you hear me, right?
We can hear you loud and clear, yes.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, man, this Skip Barber series is awesome. It's great to race, and I've been looking forward to have the chance to win the race, and it has happened. And yeah, I mean, the last lap was nerve-wracking. That's my description. And yeah, I mean, I only have to apologize a bit. I think it was to Steph because it was in the second corner, right? Second corner to the left. I was a bit tight, but yeah, I think at the end it also was an awesome finish, and I have to check it back on the replay really because I don't even remember because of the nerves.
Well, it was a great finish. I wanted to talk earlier in the race. You were constantly telling the drivers go. You were saying peace. You were talking about don't stop. Was that you telling the drivers to stop fighting and stay together, or was that you just trying to say something to the drivers? Don't be aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, it was to really because the second group was catching a bit at times, and I thought they were going to catch us. And obviously, I'm not one of the top drivers here. I don't have the speed. So if there are less cars for the win, I will have more chances to have the win. No. So yeah, it is really nerve-wracking. At the same, it is like a tense calm. I don't know how to say it in English. I'm sorry, but yeah, just. You are calm, but you are very tense, and I just was trying to say them, go, don't mess this up because we are alone, and for me, obviously, for Adam, for Vlado, maybe for Philip, it's not the same as me because they are a bit faster than me. So, but for me, it was key, and yeah, man.
Well, last thing before I let you go, you've won. Last week was Javier. There is a Spanish feel to a lot of this driving. What is it about the Iberian, the Spanish community and these cars? Because we've known there's a lot of drivers around the world, but it feels like the big field are you guys from Spain. What is it about the community in Spain about with this car?
Well, yeah, it's all because of Xavier, because Xavier has loved this car since forever. I mean, he has been on iRacing, I don't know, since I've been 10 years old and I'm 23. I don't know. It's a long time. So when this car maybe was substituted by the F4 and the newer cars, we missed it because I didn't race on iRacing because I was almost a kid. I didn't have the money to pay the cars and everything. I watched Xavier, and for me this races it's almost a dream because I couldn't do it years ago, and now yeah I'm here, and yeah because of him we all race, we all kind of started this. I think it was because of him, and then everyone joined. I think so. It's great. It's great to have everyone and to have a lot of drivers, and not also us, but the Americans, the Brits, and everyone. Yeah.
Well, Pablo, felicidades! Congratulations on your victory. We look forward to seeing you next time in Phillip Island. Have a fantastic rest of your night. Pablo Rodriguez Joglar, who finishes the victor, Joe, and another name etched into the broadcast history.
Indeed, and it sounds like we're going to watch one quick replay. This was what Steph saw coming out of the final corner. And yeah, I almost wonder if he was thinking, you know, if you guys tangle, I could take the win here. But they tangled just a little bit too late for him to pick up that win, unfortunately. Maybe next time for Steph. In the meantime, a big thank you goes to the community for bringing us back. We love this car as well. And thanks to the team today, Craig, Christian, and Dougie. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss a moment here on GSRC. Next race, as I mentioned, we're going down to Australia for Phillip Island, and that'll be on May 7th. But up next here on the channel, they have the Grand Prix Tour going to Miami. Be sure to check out our other broadcasts that we have listed here. But until next time, race clean, race hard. See you on the track.
scene.